Okay, we will call this meeting of the regular meeting of the Kalamazoo Township Board of Trustees to order at 7:30, according to Android. Trustee Leonard, do you care to lead us in the pledge?
I have an icon, Sam. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. We will proceed to a roll call of board members. Trustee Kennedy,
Present.
Trustee Sherwood,
Here.
Treasurer Miller,
Here.
I'm Supervisor Combs, Trustee Leonard,
Here.
Trustee Glass,
Here.
and Clerk Mackey.
Here.
Fantastic, we have a quorum. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda this evening? Seeing none, we will proceed to the consent agenda. Clerk Mackey?
I will move adoption of the consent agenda as recommended by the superintendent and supervisor. Was there public comment?
You know what? There is an error though on one of them.
Did you also, I'm sorry.
We didn't, I skipped that, actually. Thank you for catching me. Would you like to continue to make your motion, or would you like to go back before you
Let's go
finish your
back.
motion?
Please.
Well,
It is your prerogative since you've begun stating a motion.
yeah. We'll just, I'll retract it.
Retract the motion, thank you. Thank you for the catch as well. First, we will hold our first public comment period of the evening. If you'd like to make a public comment, feel free to step to the podium. Either microphone should be plugged in, state your name and your address, and you'll have 3 minutes to use as you choose. Seeing no public comment in the room, is there any public comment on Zoom? There's not, thank you. And with apologies, again, Clerk Mackey, thank you.
All right. I will now move adoption of the consent agenda as recommended by the superintendent and supervisor.
So,
Support.
I thought you were gonna go back and ask again if there's something to be removed, because I have something that either needs to be removed or changed.
We've already proceeded past the additions and deletions to the agenda portion. There's a motion and a second of the consent agenda. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay?
Nay.
The ayes have it, and the motion carries. Thank you. And we will proceed then to the public hearing and presentations portion of the meeting. I understand we have CalSec Incorporated here for a public hearing. First, we will open the floor, just so folks are aware of the process here, we'll open the floor for comments and any presentation by CalSec. Then we will have any board discussion or questions, and then we'll open the public hearing. Please. Yes. Attorney Siebert, yes, please.
So this is kind of new maybe from some members of this board, and industrial facilities exemption encourages construction of new or additional industrial facilities. It's intended to create or retain jobs by the potential reduction of property taxes by 6% for 12 years. After the property is fully taxed. The taxing entities include the schools, the libraries, the community health, ABCC,
Thank you very much. With that, we will proceed to comments by CalSec. Feel free to step forward if you'd like.
Just one clarification. Well, first of all, my name's Ty Weiss. I am an employee of CalSec, and I've been with CalSec for 22 years, give or take, and I'm very thankful to work there. One clarification, when you were listing the entities that are impacted by this deferment, I don't believe the education is one of them. On line 8 of the application, it asks if state education taxes are being reduced or abated, and we said no on our application, so that's not it. There were some additional steps. Right, yeah. But just in general, as I said, I'm a thankful employee of CalSec, and this is just another example of the way the Todd family that owns our business has continued to reinvest in our corporation. This is a nearly $12 million investment that is primarily being done for employee safety and sanitation reasons, to improve our grinding process. If you compare CalSec to making coffee, this building is the coffee grinder, where we grind raw spice before extraction to extract those spices and herbs for food production and food companies to put into their products. So it's a very critical component of our process, and great for employees like me to see CalSec reinvesting in this heartbeat of our manufacturing complex, which grinding and extraction are obviously that. So this building, like I said, will have truck docks to move material in and out, have all new process equipment. We've been working with a design firm for over a year now on the design, and the construction has begun. We passed the planning commission, we've got our building permit, and we are coming out of the ground with the building, but we did file this application before that all started. So I'd be happy to talk about any other aspects of the building, but CalSec as a business has been a 60-plus year member of the community. The Todd family we're in our third generation of Todd family ownership, with Martha Todd being the chairwoman of the board, and there are several family members involved on the board as well. So it's just, I love to tell people about CalSec and have them come and experience it, because most people leave saying it's something unique, which I truly believe it is. Truly a family business that takes care of its employees, and I can attest to that personally. So any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you. That's a great segue. We'll proceed to the board discussion. Are there any board questions or discussion? Trustee Kennedy.
So, Ty, would you tell me a little bit about CalSec and what they do there, please?
Sure. As I mentioned, spice extraction is how CalSec came. Kalamazoo Spice Extraction Company is how CalSec got its name. And I would say that's a majority of the business still today, where we import raw spice from all over the world, oregano, basil, thyme, or we grow crops in the U.S. and other places and bring them to Kalamazoo to extract the essence out of them, whether that's a flavor like a basil and thyme, or an antioxidant like the rosemary that we grow in Texas and Oklahoma. We bring to Kalamazoo, extract that rosemary extract, and that is a natural antioxidant that gets shipped to food companies. They might mix it in with ready-served meat, and that will last longer on the shelf naturally without artificial preservatives. So there's that side of the business. We also have a hop extract side of the business, where we do similar extraction and processing for the hop industry, where we'll take hop extracts and sell them to beverage beer industry to control light stability or bitterness or how it foams when you pour it, all kinds of unique hop extracts and hop flavors that are all the rage right now in some of the craft industry. So CalSec's had a part of that since the 80s. One of my favorite stories is Miller Genuine Draft Light, which was one of the first bottled beers to be sold in a clear bottle, MGD Light. I remember that. I was young, but that was made possible by a Miller CalSec cooperative project to be able to sell that extract that kept it from skunking in a clear bottle, made it more light stable. So that's a perfect example of how R&D, both in Kalamazoo and other places, but primarily here in Kalamazoo, drove an industry-wide change. So we have a large R&D facility where we have scientists that we attract from all over the world in various components of the industry: flavor, taste, antioxidant, like I mentioned, or hops. several components of the business, but really, we're almost always going into a food and beverage application in such small quantities that we fall under the other natural flavors component if you're one that reads ingredient declarations or labels. So that's kind of the big picture of CalSec. And I can be more specific if you have more questions.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Oh, sorry.
I'm not sure who is the best person to answer, but I'm wondering what is the value of the exemption? Like, what is the township missing out on?
The township is exempting for approximately $40,000 per year, and we're also gaining $40,000. We basically split that exemption with them. We get 50%. So they're gaining 40,000 of our
Where you're breaking even.
revenue and because of their expansion.
Right.
And we're giving up basically 40,000 through an abatement to get that additional revenue.
And that's for 12 years, correct?
Yes, 480,000. So if you look at it, like
Right.
we're abating $500,000 for 12 years and gaining $500,000 for 12 years.
Thank you.
And I would say just being on site during construction, I'd say you're also gaining, a lot of local contractors are being a part of this project and the other projects that we've been through this process with. It's great to see how much talent we have here in Kalamazoo and that they're the low bidders and the successful contractors on the job as far away as Grand Rapids, but mostly here Kalamazoo companies that we've worked with several times.
And Mr. West, forgive my ignorance on this. I knew, just reading the materials that we were talking about a grinding facility, but I heard you say that part of this investment is really reinvestment in the safety and the well-being of the employees. Could you just share, I'm just curious, could you share a little bit about that piece of this?
Sure. Our current grinder building is, it's not the first place I would bring someone on a tour. It's been there the 60-plus years of the business.
Yeah.
And it's an old metal building that's been modified countless times. It looks like a patchwork quilt of sorts.
Yeah.
It's unconditioned, so in the wintertime it's cold. In the summertime it's blazing hot. And the dust control is not where it should be for our protection and comfort of our employees. This new building will be sealed, conditioned, so it'll be 75 degrees year-round, and it has much better dust control to protect our employees and to protect against a dust hazard that's inherent in the grinding process.
Thank you.
So currently, we will only run certain products. We run a lot of heat products, chili pepper extraction. We don't run those in the summer because it's such an irritant, and to add that on a 90-degree day is miserable. So this will give us greater flexibility and much better safety.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Okay.
I'm actually curious. So I live downwind of CalSec, and it's always, it's not a bad thing, but we can always tell what you're working on.
You like oregano too, right?
Yeah, really, it's not a bad thing at all.
Yeah, that's good.
But I'm curious, is that going to change kind of my environment that I live in with the updated grinding facility?
It should better control those dusts. We still will have some dust and smells that are generated at our silo where we unload the extracted spent into trucks for composting. That's less of the smell usually. More of it would come from the grinder process. But there's also batches of every other product running every day that are probably a lot of the smells that you smell. So if you ever smell like an onion or garlic,
Absolutely.
that is in our finishing center. We don't even extract or grind onion or garlic in this building or in the future, so that just proves that you'll continue to smell. Yeah.
Trustee Kennedy, did you also have something?
No,
Oh.
I saw Craig raising
Yep.
his hand, but
Yeah.
I didn't know if you saw him.
No worries. Other discussion?
I can say,
Yeah.
I was there at the planning commission when they presented, and they made a very compelling case to the planning commission. I remember hearing about how the doors would be open in the summertime and without having that air handling. And
Yes.
the
Yes.
problems that was causing for CalSAC.
Yep. This will be a big improvement.
Thank you. Please.
I just want to say thank you. CalSAC has continued to put back into the community as well as take care of their own community.
Yes.
And it's my understanding that you have broader pictures of even expanding larger in the community there. So I want to
And I should have mentioned, I wish I could speak more accurately about the amount of community work that we do. I know communities and schools is very dear to our previous CEO's heart, and we still engage with them quite a bit and run a lot of support to them. The United Way program every year is very big at CalSec. We have our own charitable activities team that engages in the community at Christmas time, supporting families in need. And there's many other examples that I wish I had a good list. I didn't come prepared to speak on that, but yeah, it's like I said, a very family-focused company and community-focused as well. On the energy side, we continue to try to reduce our energy and be a better steward of the energy we do use, because it is an energy-intensive process, as you can imagine. One example of that is we recently signed up with Consumers Energy, their large customer renewable energy program, where we're going to be getting 50% of all of our energy used in Kalamazoo from a newly constructed solar array that's going to be built north of town here. So that was a big commitment, and we're considering expanding that further. So just other examples of the Todd family's intentions in the community. So.
Any other discussion? Seeing none. Well, thank you, Mr. Weiss. Appreciate it. We will proceed to the public hearing portion of this presentation and request. Upon declaring the public hearing open, any member of the public may step forward and speak on this issue if you would like. The public hearing is open.
Ron Hester, 1314 Coolidge. CalSec has always been a great neighbor. I've sat through many planning commission meetings when they did different things and argued with MDOT about sidewalks and, failed commitments and things like that. And I know that there's fragrances and aromas that sometimes present themselves, but over the years, we moved to Westwood 31 years ago, and there were more then than there are now. And just what they brought to the community, and they're trying to be the good guys. I mean, and I think they're successful at it. But you don't hear comments from Westwoodians about bad things at CalSec, except for,
Yeah.
I think
not
they're-
complaining.
I think they're a good company, and I wish we had more of them in the township, but thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Would anyone else like to speak on this issue? Okay, with that we will close the I'm sorry, Superintendent, is there anyone wishing to speak on Zoom? Okay. With that, we will close the public hearing. Thank you. Moving forward, there is no old business, so we will proceed to the one new business item at hand, which is the motion to adopt the resolution as presented relating to granting a 12-year industrial facilities tax exemption to CalSec Incorporated for a building and machinery expansion totaling $11,805,780. A motion would be in order.
I will move to adopt the resolution as presented to grant a 12-year industrial facilities tax exemption to CalSec Inc. for a building and machinery expansion totaling $11,805,780.
A second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, we will proceed to a roll call vote for this item. Trustee Kennedy.
Yes.
Clerk Mackey.
Yes.
Trustee Glass.
Yes.
Trustee Sherwood.
Yes.
I'm an aye. Treasurer Miller.
Aye.
And Trustee Leonard.
Aye.
The motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. No items were removed from the consent agenda. We will proceed to board reports this evening. Trustee Glass.
I didn't have anything formally prepared, but I did want to mention that there is, I believe, a little time left on the MyHer grant. And if you're interested in learning about some of that availability and how it works, there's some ways to offset costs depending on your income for improving the energy efficiency of your home. And there's still some money left to be had in our community. And so I would just say I can send you reach out to me. Better Home Builders and the MyHeart program have been working together, and I think it's a great option for people that are looking to improve their older homes and the energy efficiency in them. So I will get all that to you. I meant to send it to everyone sooner, but Better World Builders. Yes, you're right. That's what I meant. That's where I learned about it. But there is still some time left, I believe, to get in on that grant. And depending on your income level, even if your income is a little bit higher, you can still get some reimbursement back. So it's great to look into.
Thank you very much. Trustee Sherwood?
I don't have any updates, aside from just, I hope everyone's enjoying the summer and stay cool out there, get in that deep shade of the trees, enjoy all the trees that we have here in the township, and take advantage of that.
Thank you. Trustee Leonard?
I would just encourage everyone again to attend the National Night Out. I will be at Westwood 6 to 9 next Tuesday, August 5th. I attended for the first time last year. It was a really fun event. There's just lots of community things and lots to learn about the different things in our community to get involved with. So I'd highly encourage you to attend.
Thank you very much. Trustee Kennedy?
So, I too would like to encourage, Eastwood this year is having a national night out. It'll be at Youth for Christ from 5 to 8 p.m. and I will be in attendance as well. So I really would like to encourage the community to come out so they can not only learn about their community police officers, but just to take that opportunity to go ahead and learn about one another and what is available in the community. And it's usually a fun time. So I'm really happy that Eastwood is having these again. So let's show our community support by coming out and spending some time with our neighbors. On July 11th, I helped put together a meeting with residents. I try to have those every quarter. I want to thank Treasurer Miller for teaching us about our tax bills. I'm saying that right. There were a lot of questions, and so if you do have questions about anything Treasury related or your tax bills, feel free to come up here to the township, and I know if she's available, she'll be happy to walk you through that process. A lot of us don't see our bills because if you have an escrow, it goes directly to the mortgage company, so you have no idea what's on there. So I encourage you to come in and have a conversation. I would call first to make sure she's available, because sometimes, you might need to make an appointment. The other thing is I would like to thank Trustee Sherwood for teaching us about plants and the different type of vegetation that would be helpful in our communities and our properties to be able to truly be climate people. My words. On August 17th, the Veteran Service Office in Kalamazoo is having a family fun day for veterans and their families. It is something from 9 to 1 p.m. You can register by calling 269-373-5361 or email veterans@calcounty.gov. What's really nice about that is there are very few events that are really encouraged for families. There are a lot of people, I believe it was 78% of Kalamazoo County, which of course includes the township, that voted on a millage for veterans. And what the Veteran Service Office is trying to do is to have events so that you can incorporate your families. Bring your families, bring your mother or your father or your in-laws, and sign up, as many of them that want to come can come as long as they're veterans and families of veterans. And it's at Airway Lanes. And it's really a good time. I went last year, there were over 350 people there. You can bowl and just hang out. There's food there. So, you know, if you get a chance, go ahead and come on out. So, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Treasurer Miller?
Thank you. We had a presentation this evening by Williams Architect and our fire chief, Jairus Baird, that showed us our new Eastwood Fire Station, and I was very impressed with it. I'm very excited about it. Fire chief shared with us that the demolition for the existing church started this afternoon. So, in the timeline scheme of things, hopefully we will have our new Eastwood Fire Station up and running by the end of 2026.
Thank you very much. Clerk Mackey?
Yeah, I also wanted to encourage people to attend the National Night Outs in Eastwood and Westwood neighborhood. And if you live in Northwood or Lakewood, I would encourage you to come out to one of those events as well, because we will have people from the township and from the police and employees here that might be able to answer any questions that you might have. We've got some infrastructure projects coming up, and so we're available even if you're in those other neighborhoods that aren't hosting a national night out. We'd still encourage you to come to these events. Great for our community.
Thank you very much. I have a quick update this evening. Board members, you'll see a document with bright yellow on the front of it relating to the 131 interchange. I'll share verbally, though, for the audience as well. Earlier in July on the 22nd, the Michigan Department of Transportation invited State Senator McCann, State Representative Rogers, both of whom represent Kalamazoo Township, along with the supervisors from here in Kalamazoo Township and Oshtemo, to join them and Kalamazoo County Road Commission Director Bartholomew on a tour of the currently under construction 131 interchange expansion site. So I wanted to share just a few things there. Also present were a few members of the media, and then Southwest Michigan First representatives. You can see, board members, a few photos of the construction there. The nutshell version of this is construction is proceeding extremely rapidly. One of the ramps is already near completion, paved and painted, and the bridges are currently underway. But a few just points of interest that might be of interest to this board and to the public. The first is that if you're not familiar with the project, this is a project to expand the 131 Business Loop interchange so that it will be accessible to and from 131 in both directions, north and southbound. Currently only accessible from the southbound direction. There will be, between now and the completion of the project in the fall, a few single lane closures here and there on weekends in order to facilitate beam setting and things like that, and a total of 5 overnight weekend closures, which would be no longer than 2 hours apiece in the overnight hours of 131 north and southbound, and so they should not impact traffic all that much unless you have a red-eye flight out of Grand Rapids. In that case, check MDOT's website. That said, the interchange is on track to open for regular traffic in the fall of 2025. MDOT expects to schedule a ribbon cutting, to which I hope this entire board and superintendent can be present at some point in October. The date is to be determined. I've also included just a couple of media articles if you'd like to see what our state representative and senator had to say. You can visit those URLs in the document there. And finally, I wanted to share, you'll see on the second page, board members, MDOT did a particularly good job preserving the large and old trees that are in the path of the interchange. And the MDOT representatives shared that they have had this interchange designated scenic interchange. And what that means is these trees will be preserved and will not be able to be replaced by billboards at any point. That particular piece of land is also in the township of Oshtemo, and so there's no revenue impact for Kalamazoo Township. However, we can count on that scenery to remain. So that's what I had for the evening. We will proceed to the superintendent's report. Thank you very much. And with that, we will proceed to the second and final public comment period for the evening. Again, if you'd like to make a public comment, please feel free to step to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes. Let us know your name and address, and you can use your 3 minutes as you wish. Seeing no movement in the room. Superintendent, is there any public comment on Zoom this evening? Thank you very much. With that, we will proceed to a closed session motion this evening. I will go ahead and make a motion that I will move that the Township Board meet in a closed session under Section 8(1)A of the Open Meetings Act to consider a periodic personnel evaluation of Superintendent Tracy Morad, who has exercised her authority to request the same under Section 8(1)A of the Open Meetings Act. I further move that such a request for closed session may be rescinded by this named individual at any time, in which case the matter at issue shall be considered only an open session after the rescission.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we will proceed to a roll call vote. Treasurer Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Sherwood.
Aye.
Trustee Kennedy.
No.
I'm an aye. Trustee Leonard.
Aye.
Trustee Glass.
Aye.
And Clerk Mackey.
Aye.
Motion carries. We will proceed to closed session.